Yeah,
That's wild. I mean, just, the way that you're seeing this kind of transition from that looks like it would be a YouTube production, right? Because it looks like something, like you said, that we could all just get together and draw on a quiet afternoon and then use AI to animate it. But I think that the fact that it is showing up on more produced network streaming service television means that, the social media quality threshold is probably making its way towards more mainstream operations, which has got to be horrifying from a production perspective, that they're like, these guys can get an audience with this stuff that it looks like it was a 4th grade art class project.
Oh yeah.
And
old media's dead.
And
old media
a lot of it is
dead. If you look at, I wonder what, maybe you don't even want to talk about this. It's probably like Friends of Friends or something, but like Car and Driver TV, like that channel, I wonder how many views one of those programs gets compared to a YouTuber who's taken a Porsche out to the track and running it through its paces. I bet it's not even close, and that world is so different now. We see it a lot with the news.
Sure.
The viewership on especially liberal news, the way MSNBC and CNN has just tanked post-election. And I mean, there's half a dozen YouTube channels that I get recommended that are just 250,000 views every day, recycling the same, news that CNN. We were looking at the views of an MSNBC program, and it was like 80,000. There was 80,000 was like the median or something viewers for a TV program.
It was 80,000 in their core demographic.
It's crazy.
So it's more than that, but like within whoever their core demographic is.
Right. So whoever they're building ads for, there's
35 to 54-year-old women or whatever. Like,
do you know Rachel Maddow gets paid?
She makes a ton of money.
I bet she makes $1 million a fucking week or something crazy like that.
She used to, because her show in about 2016 is almost 10 years ago, but like 9 years ago, like 2016 era Maddow, she was slaying. She was bigger individually than any other show on MSNBC. She was bigger than most Fox hosts, the morning and afternoon Fox hosts, bigger than most CNN.
For a long time, like Netflix wouldn't even give stats. I remember hearing maybe a year or so ago that they were going to begin offering viewership statistics, but they wouldn't let anybody know. So they would theoretically allow you, if you were doing content for Netflix, to sell brand placements and product placements, but you couldn't have any evidence of whether or not anybody saw it. And so, the problem with traditional media is that even those estimates are their Nielsen ratings, they're not that accurate. Whereas social media view counts are very easy to audit. We can get some level of demographic data, and it's just such a different marketing product. The only issue that we have is that, it can be hard because a lot of the mainstream brands that have traditional ad buyers that want to be on cable television aren't prepared to buy lower view counts or single video deals, or however you want to break them down from a social media perspective. Old-headed.
Yeah, it was like that with gun stuff. It was always like that with gun stuff. There'd be a firearm company that would spend $50,000 to be on some magazine, and it was like, how many copies of that magazine did they sell, sir? 2,800. Man, but like, you don't even know. Like, I can tweet and get you 28,000 imprints right this second from my phone. Right. I can do that. What are you talking about?
This was like years ago, probably like 2018 or so. But I remember like talking to Hulu about placing ads there. And there were just like no key performance indicators that you could lean on from streaming services where you'd be like, all right, if we want to do product placement in this way, like, how do we measure how well it's working? Like, will you tell us exactly how many people watched it? And they're like, no. And it's like, all right, so then like, what do we, and like, so our KPI will just be if serendipitously we notice an influx of sales in the region we're running this product placement or ad. And it's like, this is not the way, because like even now, like you treat this with Fox News, they'll tell you to the person, like in every demo, how many people are watching, what their durations are, what other products they like, what other forms of media they consume. And so then like doing that with a company like with Hulu, because obviously Netflix has always been ad free and Hulu wasn't, and a huge percentage of their base just pays the minimum and watches ads. And they just didn't have any performance indicators that were useful. I'm sure they're more sophisticated now because that was,
with Netflix
6 years ago. No, with Hulu.
Oh, I know
they
Netflix
might be,
has,
but they may
Netflix
not. I
has
mean,
data.
it's such an interesting business model where it's subscription plus ads and things like that. But when I've got sponsors like Premier Financial Services is one, they've been a sponsor for 8 years now, but they also do traditional print ads in automotive magazines. They also do event placement and they have booths everywhere. And they said they don't get attribution for new leads from any of them relative to what they get from VINwiki, because they just, we are obviously massively more in terms of number of impressions, but it's since it's in their face, it seems to convert a lot better than traditional print. We're like, oh, well, I saw an ad in DuPont Registry or whatever. And so it works. I mean, the ticket clinics, one of ours, they do billboard ads and they somehow manage to tell if that works. But I'm sure it's, Florida Turnpike ads where people are getting, highway patrol tickets and things of that nature. But it's odd how different they find the results to be when they start to transition towards a social media advertising model relative to traditional print ads or traditional paid media.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's
I know
interesting to see the evolution.
I know we sold $10 million worth of AA12s to a couple foreign countries. Like
sick.
Directly. Like I always said,
good
like,
countries.
Why would you? Nah.
It wasn't Italy and France, was it?
Nah, it was Jordan. It was Jordan. The king or the prince of Jordan or something like wanted his like squad to have AA12s. And they're like,
that's cool.
I think they're like $50,000 each or something like that. I was like, we're gonna need a lot of these. Bought a bunch of them. And but I always thought that like the print made no sense with guns. Like, I mean, like why would you want being in guns and ammo costs so much money, and you take that same amount and you could be on every gun YouTube channel. Just like give them your thing and let them shoot it and give them a little money. You could get every single gun channel for what you could get guns and ammo for.
It's just anachronistic.
What about gun shows though, Kyle? Did those work?
Yeah. Oh, well, SHOT Show is kind of like the mecca of that, right? In Vegas, where all the firearms companies and also all the influencers. I mean, I was always there and everybody else was always there doing big meetups and stuff. And that would be I would go there and talk to anybody that had cool shit and try to like rub elbows with them and be like, and give them my card and stuff. We went to lots of shows like that and tried to like dig up business like that, but mostly just trying to make contacts and meet people. But I think that those were good for those companies for sure, because often they're looking for military contracts and police contracts, and SWAT teams and police departments send reps to those shows to look at the new stuff. So they're doing great business at those. Those definitely work.
I think it's the week after SEMA, right?
I don't know what SEMA is. That's a car thing?
SEMA is the aftermarket products convention that is also in Vegas, and that's one that a lot of the guys that I know are finding it not worth the $50,000 to $200,000 to have a booth there for the week.
Costs?
Which is crazy, but it's a wild time. But I haven't met anybody in the last few years going there that's like, oh well, this is what led to this deal that was that changed my business from a buyer or a seller perspective. It seems like the value there is shifting because it's so easy to just DM somebody on Instagram and initiate the same kind of conversation about putting a business relationship together.
See, SHOT Show is really good because, like I said, like every police organization and everyone who can buy the stuff that they're pimping out there will come there and check it out, and then they can go out in the desert and use it. And so it's really good for getting big deals done like that, I think, for a lot of firearms companies, and not just firearms companies, but companies that make like 40 millimeter grenades and tasers and all that police gear type shit. All that stuff would be there. And also all the hunting stuff. SHOT Show's sort of split between tactical and hunting, or at least it was last time I went.